young and dress conservative. Drugs, alcohol, homosexuality are of course forbidden, and it can result in execution. It is illegal to host foreigners in your home, and there is no such thing as a free media. And speaking against the government can result in execution. The internet is of course highly filtered and censored. Between me and the travel mate, we managed to break all these laws within the first 2 weeks, except the homosexuality part. And for the record, a bottle of whiskey is actually cheaper in Iran than Iceland. I can't possibly tell you about everything that happened during our 2 weeks in Iran, but I can assure you that it was fantastic. People there were kind and proud of their country, and everyone wanted us to have the time of life. My travel mate and I had decided early on to use couchsurfing, a social networking site for people that could stay on the couch for free while they traveled. That way we met people we otherwise would not have met, and more importantly, we got the chance to talk to people in a place that they felt safe. There was one couchsurfer in particular who addressed the importance of tourism in Iran. He told us it was important for us to be there, not only because we get to experience the wonderful country and get to see the real Iran, which is completely different from what's portrayed in Western media. It's also necessary for the Iranians to meet us, especially for girls and women, to see how independent a woman can be, traveling with a backpack in mismatched clothes. I hadn't realized it before, that just being there and walking down the street can have influence. Although Iranian women are in a way oppressed and face serious restrictions of personal freedom, mainly because of religion and social pressure, they are at the same time strong and in a way independent. I never felt like I wasn't respected for being a woman or a foreigner in Iran. It is important to notice that it's not only the women who are oppressed, it is the whole society. The whole society puts on this little play while outside to follow the rules of the regime while living in fear. We'd like to say, when the cat is away, the mice will play. In Iran, there's a generation of young adults who have never known anything but the regime, and the ideologies of the government doesn't represent the people. Brain drain is a big problem in Iran. Hundreds of intellectual and aspiring young people move away from Iran each year to study in Europe and North America. The majority of them don't return because of economic issues and ideology change of mind, or because the living standards in Europe and America are better than in Iran. The loss of people, intellectual and well-educated young people, is what weakens the resistance against the regime. Trade sanctions imposed in Iran don't make living in Iran easier. That's not the point either, but the economic pressure like this isn't working. The real damage is done to the people. The Iranian people feel like they're forgotten. They feel like their voice is being choked, and all the Western media focuses on is how crazy the government is and whether they have nuclear weapons or not. I'll never forget the taxi driver our first evening in Tehran. Taxi driver, an old man with a picture of Imam Khomeini in his car window, asked our couchsurfer to translate for him. Please, he said, please tell them that we are not terrorists. The Iranians want us to know about their history, and they want to share their worldviews. And we will give them freedom by listening. We will give them voice by allowing them to be who they are and not fighting to change them into something they are not. Their biggest concern right now isn't that the women have to wear hijab outside, or their country is in fact Islamic. Most of the people we talk to realize how current regime isn't fair, but resistance is dangerous. Access to Twitter and Facebook and other social medias are essential, and it's essential that we listen. If they are to find the strength to rise against the current regime, we first have to give them a platform to speak up. We have to show them that we are ready to be there for them, but we have to listen. Our freedom is not necessarily the only one, or the right one. One day I would want to visit Iran without wearing a hijab. I would one day like to walk down the streets of Tehran wearing a skirt going just below knees. I know that many Iranians feel the same way. It is incredibly easy to take freedom for granted, but it's also incredibly easy to assume that the freedom we know is the right kind, the only kind. Who knows more about freedom? The one who knows he is oppressed, or the one who thinks he is free? The freedom the Iranian people need the most right now is the freedom from our prejudice. Thank you. The floor is yours. Any questions?